Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, the Tax Master UAE. Today we are going to learn what is profit margin scheme under UAE VAT law. So what are the goods on which this scheme can be applied and how we calculate VAT under this scheme and what are the invoicing or record keeping requirement under this scheme. So without any delay, let's get it started. First of all, what is profit margin scheme? So as you may be aware that VAT is calculated on the total sales value. But under this scheme, you will charge VAT only on profit margin. That means the amount which you earn from your customers. That means you don't need to pay tax on total sales value, rather than you need to pay VAT on only the amount you earn from your customer by doing the business. Now, second questions, when can it be applied? So this scheme is optional. It is not mandatory that if you are doing eligible trading of eligible goods, you must apply for this scheme. No, this is optional. So you may apply or you may not apply. But there are two conditions this scheme can be applied. Number one, if you are buying goods from non-registered person, and or the person who is already applying this scheme. So these two conditions. Number one, you buy the goods from non-registered person or from suppliers or from the suppliers who is already applying this scheme, and where input VAT is blocked. So suppose any goods where input VAT is already claimed or can be recoverable, such goods you cannot apply marginal scheme. So two conditions must be fulfilled. When before applying for profit margin scheme, you must have to access two conditions. Number one, the goods must be purchased from non-registered suppliers or who is already applying this scheme, and input VAT should not be recovered from such goods. Input VAT is blocked, it means. So if these two conditions are satisfied, this profit margin scheme can be applied. Now let's come to what are the goods which are eligible for profit margin scheme. Number one, second hand goods. Second hand goods here means any used car, used furniture, used mobile and others. But important one thing here is that you cannot use this scheme for the scrap. So if except from the scrap, all the second hand goods which can be reused, such profit margin scheme can be applied on such second hand goods. Another case is antiques. Here antique means any goods which are older than 50 years. So if you are in trading of such goods, antiques, in that case again you can apply profit margin scheme, but you should provide the documentary proof to Federal Tax Authority that such goods is 50 years old and VAT was applied on that goods. So if you have the proof, documentary proof, in that case you can apply. But if any of these conditions, if you cannot prove to Federal Tax Authority, in that case again you have to calculate VAT on the full sales value. That means profit margin scheme cannot be applied. And third items goods is collector's items. So it can be currency, coins, any stamps or historical or scientific item. Again, here you need to provide documentary proof to Federal Tax Authority. So these three categories, if you are in business of these three types of goods, you can apply profit margin scheme. Now we'll learn now how to calculate the VAT under profit margin scheme. This is the most critical point, and many business owner who is doing such business miss here. Many consultant has advised wrong. Here there are two steps. First is calculate profit margin. So how will you calculate profit margin? Simply sales value minus purchase price. First step is done. Calculate profit. Now second step is profit margin whatever amount you drag from first step, that profit margin, this multiply by 5 and divide by 105. So you will come to the VAT amount. So whatever amount will be, this will be your VAT amount. So this amount you have to, when you submit your return, you have to pay this amount. Now let me explain with the example. So here example, if you take, so suppose sales is 1000 and you had purchased these goods for 500. Now profit is equal to 1000 minus 500. So you have a profit of 500. Now one point here to notice that VAT is already included in this profit amount. So here VAT is already included. So VAT amount you will calculate like this: 500 into 5 divided by 105. So your amount will be, your amount will be something 23.86, I think. You can calculate. I'm just giving the example. So this amount, this is your VAT liability under profit margin scheme. Now, what are the requirement? What are the requirement of record keeping? What are the documents you need to maintain? So first of all, you have to maintain purchase or sales register, where all the details, every item's detail, purchase amount, date, everything should be recorded. Similarly, in sales register, you have to maintain all items, every items, whatever items you have sold, every items details, date, amount, suppliers, everything. Second is purchase invoice. So you may have a question that if I am purchasing goods from non-registered person or an individual, how can I have purchase invoice? So in such case, you have to prepare purchase invoice by yourselves, and in that invoice, these items, these details must be included: your company, your name, address or TRA number, person's name and address, date, goods detail, and the signature, amount and the signature. These items, these in purchase invoice, this detail must be included. Now let's come to invoicing requirement. Now you are selling such goods to your customers, so you have to issue the invoice, right? And that invoice must include the word that is applied under profit margin scheme. This is the most critical point. So you have to, in the invoice, you have to mention this line. And when preparing the invoice, you don't show like sales value this and VAT this. No, you are not allowed to include the sales portion. You are not allowed to bifurcate the sales value and the VAT amount. Only you need to show total taxable amount. No need to bifurcate. So these are the two critical points when you are issuing the invoices. I hope you have learned this, and if you are getting any confusion or any questions which is applicable in your businesses, please contact, or you can directly WhatsApp me or call me. Contact details and informations is mentioned in the description. Thank you so much.